Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we just got the Memory of Chaos reset, so of course we have to go ahead and try Starward mode on our main account. Last time around, it took us to wait until the new banners to clear it, and then finally when we got our Reen, we were able to clear it. One cycle with the Reen and Archer team, one cycle with the Ashblade team, and I think it was 5 or maybe 6 cycles with the Silverwolf team. Anyway, this time around we are running back the same teams. On the first stage, we're using our Archer team with Aventurine as the sustain. On our second team will be the Silverwolf 999 team using Heng PT. And then finally, for the final stage, will be the Ashblade team with Tribbie as our supporter because, of course, Aventurine Wayflare is not out yet. But, you know, when he comes out, maybe we'll try out the team with him. Anyway, with that being said, let's hop straight into the runs. All characters here are E0S0. Well, all limited characters here are E0S0. Actually, wait, every single character here is E0S0. With that being said, let's hop into the runs. Full character builds will be at the end. Alright then, and here we are in the first stage with our Archer team. You know, just decided to go ahead and give Aventurine as a sustain because honestly, I think this is the team's performance I'm most confident in because this stage is nowhere near as cringe as some of the other ones, at least in my humble opinion. So yeah, I just went ahead and used the skill there on our arena. I'm instantly going to go ahead and pop the Sparkle ultimate. The reason being is I want to go ahead and get Reen's ultimate here because we are running her on that 3-star light gun, no 4-star light gun, which gives her the 32 energy. So we can first turn ult here for the vulnerability. Is this optimal? I'm not sure. Sometimes it depends on the stage. I just really want to zero cycle this first stage here, and I also want to make sure that this boss here on the right goes down ASAP because I do not want him messing up my speed tuning with either his slow or his summons. But since we do still want to zero cycle, I'm also going to try to dump as much damage as I can into that guy, so that's 169k there. And okay, 92k. Oh, he just about lives, but we will be able to take him out with Reen's follow-up attack. We only need him to not slow here. Okay, which luckily he didn't. If we did, that would have to be a restart because the difference between our Reen and Sparkle speed I think is about 0.2 difference. So yeah, okay, anyway, just gonna go ahead and now dump all of our arrows into the boss, into this boss here, and pray for the zero cycle. Follow-up attack goes off. We should have 2 more arrows here. Yep, that should be enough to kill. 670k and once again 670,000. I'm just instantly gonna go ahead and pop the Archer ultimate here. Also, we do have all of our buffs up, and Sam does have a vulnerability up currently as well, so let's go ahead and pop the Archer ult for an extra 500k damage. We'll take him down by 5% HP. I could skill here on Reen, but I'm not 100% sure that my Sparkle ult here would get me her ultimate back, so I'm just gonna play it safe, and yep, I'm glad that I did. And we will go ahead and get 4 follow-ups here. Okay, unlucky that we missed out on one here. I mean, I could Sparkle ult here for an extra arrow, but no, I think I'll save it. I think I want to prioritize using Reen's skill here so that we can go ahead and get closer to her ultimate. And now we can go ahead and I will say Aventurine's ult is actually quite good in this team if we're in single target like we are right now. Just because we can increase the enemy's crit damage taken, which, you know, it's not the biggest buff, but it's better than, you know, nothing. So let's just go ahead and pop the Sparkle ult now and action forward our Archer. We will once again have 5 arrows here. It will be very, very beautiful. So let's see, that's 230k into 300. There we go. You see it's a 15% crit damage increase, very nice, and still has the vulnerability up. I think that's until he goes into that other form. So it was like 230, 300k, 175 from that follow-up there. The ultimate is gonna go ahead and deal 600k. And then that's 400 and another 400. We love to see it. Okay, and we are now in this state, which will be very easy for us with all of our skill point consumption. Also, Aventurine is just a pretty good sustain for this stage specifically, purely because of the fact that we you know, Sam does quite a few AoE hits, so we are able to stack our Aventurine quite easily. Anyway, we don't get our follow-up attack here, which is sad, but, you know, we'll get about 4 hours off, which, you know, we'll take it, and there we go. Oh, we actually got all of, okay, perfect. So we actually do get to go ahead and use 5 arrows. That is a perfect. We did 700k there. Go ahead and launch our Archer ult as well. I'm not gonna go ahead and risk the skill on our Reen. I mean, anyway, we probably just take out here on Archer anyway, so, you know, we don't need, and we're not close to our ult either, and we already have the vulnerability up, so there is no reason for me to risk it here. So 15% Archer's arrows should just go ahead and do the trick here. Once again, 230, 338, into 428 and 428 and one more 428. One more 428. Let's go. There we go. That is the first stage done in literally just a singular cycle. This Aventurine team is absolutely bonkers. With that being said, let's hop onto the second stage now. Alright then, and here we are on the second stage with our Silverwolf team. I will say, last time around this boss was in MOC, our Silverwolf managed to easily destroy it, so I'm hoping for the same results here, although we will have to wait and see, I suppose. Okay, go ahead and use our done Heng here. I will say it is quite annoying that we have two of these mecha bosses in here. They are far from my favorites, but then again, I guess there have just been quite a few annoying bosses in Plain Arcadia, whether it be ones like Pom Pom, which really want you to have Elation, or if it's ones like, actually, basically all of the Elation bosses. Sparxie is another annoying one. The Sparxie boss really reminds me of Aventurine, I will say that for sure. I think we're just gonna go ahead and wait here for Sparxie's to actually, maybe I should just use, nah, I think waiting for Sparxie's turn here to generate just a little bit more punchline should be fine, although maybe I'll stand corrected, we shall see. Maybe the, actually no, I think we should be able to get 2 Silverwolf turns anyway, and then the 10 AV difference that we spent shouldn't be the difference between a 0 cycle and a 1 cycle. I don't think we're 0 cycling this first half. The Archer team is very good at it, but the Silverwolf one not so much, especially because it is quite backloaded, especially at E0S0 on the entire team. See, I was considering using Sparxie for this boss as well, but then I mean, I could do Yaoguang EMC. I think I just slightly prefer the version with Sparkle, but then I'd have to take that away from the Rin and Archer team, which I definitely do not want to do. Okay, anyway, gonna go ahead and continue into our rotation. Our Silverwolf is actually hitting for some decent damage this time, because we now do have 90 MMR, which is nice. I think I might need to refresh our Dun Heng shield here. Okay, unless this aha instant will absolutely nuke the enemies, then I think we should be fine. Sorry, then maybe we can 0 cycle, but I doubt that it's gonna nuke them. Although we will have a lot of MMR here for our Silverwolf, which will be quite nice. Okay, 122k from our Yaoguang, and then 400k on Sparxie, into 500 from Silverwolf, very nice. 136 MMR will take it, over 120, very nice. We got that triple S rank right there. I am just gonna go ahead and use the shield here because, might as well, not like the skill points are going to matter massively, because we do have the... What's Silverwolf's unique skill points called? Frill? Is that it? I don't know, I might be mistaken. Anyway, very nice, 1.3 mil there from our Silverwolf, and it takes down the stage, which is nice. Maybe I would have preferred it if Sparxie got a turn so we could generate a bit more punchline for our Silverwolf, but it's fine, it's not the end of the world. I guess at least it conserves us some skill points, but oh well, like I said, we'll see. Okay, he does now spawn in his summon, so we definitely do want to go ahead and get the damage reduction, otherwise things might start looking a little bit dodgy. I do wish the regular skill on Silverwolf did a little bit more damage. Okay, we do have the Yaoguang ultimate here, and this, I think we're just gonna go ahead and pop our Silverwolf straight away, ult straight away as soon as we get it, like so. And then hopefully we can generate, hopefully it goes after the next aha instant, so that we can generate a bit more, not Surfite Banger, punchline from it. Just because, we do want to go ahead and get our MMR up, like we're very low elo right now. I had to get that reference, I had to get that pun in, fill in whatever game you want. I had one in mind, but go in and go ahead and fill in the blank. If you want, go ahead and pick your own competitive game. Anyway, spam out some Sparxie skills here. We did not get any skill points generated when we used our regular 5. That was unlucky. That is pretty annoying, I'm not going to lie, especially, I don't think it will be the difference maker between us getting 120 MMR and not, because I don't believe we'll get that much from this instead. I always forget the amount. Sparxie will give us some, and then we get quite a lot from Silver as well. Let's see, never mind, but actually we might get some at the end. Oh my god, we're missing one. We better not be missing one, bro, because, okay, cool, we got it back from whatever gave it to us, but I'll take it. Anyway, we should be hitting for some pretty nice damage here, 1 mil, although it barely did any of Pom Pom's HP bar. Hello? What is this? Especially on a DPS this backloaded, that is not very fun. This might take us a while, actually. We're definitely not gonna clear anywhere close to the speed of the Rin and Archer clear. I'll tell you that much already. Oh, that does not feel great whatsoever. Oof, that's given me some stuff to think about here. Remember that we will be making the tier list sometime after this, because I do also need to do the Spiral Abyss reset in Genshin. And then we need to also make a... Actually, to be fair, we've already done the Genshin tier list, so then after that, it's just the HSR tier list. Although before that, I'll probably also do MOC on my old account, just to see how our Himiko Nova, E1 Evanescence, as well as Saber Mesh teams will go ahead and do. Actually, no, I might wait for a Robin's release for that, because, actually, yeah, I'm not going to do it on my ult until Robin releases. Unless, actually no, I could just do it before and after if I get Robin. I don't know, we'll see. I've been quite busy recently, which is why, unfortunately, this MOC run is a video late. Although, one thing I will say straight away is, I feel like HP must have gone up because we are already clearing quite slow. We're about to be switching into the next cycle, and we don't have our Silverwolf ult up yet. Like I said, a pretty backloaded DPS, which isn't a problem if we do enough damage, but at E0S0 I feel like we just don't get enough punchline, and also this boss has an incredible HP bar for whatever reason. It is quite annoying currently, if I say so myself. Also, I really need to know, is the third stage of Starward more difficult than the other two? I'm not quite sure. Because I feel like last time around the Sparxie boss was the most annoying. I feel like whenever it's whenever it's Apoc Shadow, I also feel like the last one is also the most annoying one to do. Anyway, we go ahead and pop the Yaoguang ultimate and then pop the Silverwolf ult right after, so that we can get her buffs from it. But then we make sure to do it. We make sure to get the Aha instant, and then we pop the, because I want to pop the ult so that we can get the Elation skill, which will go ahead and do 400k. Okay, not as much as I was hoping for, but you know, we get the extra damage in. We also make sure Silverwolf has all of her buffs up. This isn't going to do 7%, is it? Oh my god. Oh, this boss's HP bar is insane. I don't know if this is our Silverwolf being bad, if me playing Silverwolf bad, or if it's just that HP inflation went insane since the last reset, which, you know, I guess this is technically, because obviously the next patch won't have a MOC reset in it, so technically this counts as both the current as well as next MOC. I also will say there is no memory turbulence for Elation here, which isn't great for it, especially because we are missing a teammate. We will be getting Pearl, but I don't know, this performance is quite slow. Pearl will have to be kind of Dahlia level to make this go crazy, but then again, Robin and Mortenax Blade are very insane supports, so maybe Pearl will have a chance to Giga buff Elation, although we'll have to wait and see. We are currently in the third cycle, it's getting very close, that's for sure. I kind of forgot my trail of thought, unfortunately. It was definitely something about power level. Yeah, like I said, first of all, okay, yeah, I have completely lost my trail of thought, or I'm not gonna lie. I am just I'm just kind of sad from some of the damage numbers we're seeing there. I mean, at least that Elation skill, the 10% HP, 10% of Pumpum's HP bar there. That's good. That's better than what we were seeing before. We have 200 MMR here, which is pretty huge. So our next attack should do a lot, although has he just gone into a damage reduction state? If so, that is even worse. And that's another big problem when running a DPS like Silverwolf, where you rely on their own turns, you don't have any action forwards, and you don't deal damage on ultimate. If a boss does something like this, or for example Sparxie, where they just go into a special state and they either just don't take damage or something of the sorts, then it is very bad. Okay, we start off what 50% HP, and we deal 6%, even at over 200 MMR. This is pretty bad. Like I said, I think last time around when this boss came in Memory of Chaos, I think we one-cycled with Silverwolf. Maybe, like, max 2-cycle, but I think it was a 1-cycle. Like, it was really, really quick. Maybe 2 cycles. Maybe it was a 2-cycle, but yeah, I feel like there has to have been, like, some crazy HP inflation. Or maybe it's just because the memory turbulence, like, sucks. Like, there's genuinely nothing to help this team out whatsoever. And to be fair, it's also gonna kind of suck for our third one as well. Because yes, we have Ashveil there, but I think our main damage dealer on that team is going to end up being our Mortenax Blade. Just because our... the only time when we're in single target will be when we take out the boss's bugs. And then when we're in AoE, we're not going to be doing that much with our Ashveil. Honestly, maybe even main DPS. Mortenax would be better on the final stage, but I don't know, I can't be else trying that out. I'm guessing they're just waiting for Aventurine Wave Flare and Robin just because they're really OP. That's probably why there's been an increase in HP. Although I think there's been an increase in HP, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I think I might have ulted a bit late on Silverwolf because we are not getting our turn in the next cycle. I did not even realize this was going on. Ooh, this is bad. This is bad because this isn't gonna be. Yeah, that wasn't gonna do 14% HP, and we don't have a Yaoguang ultimate here. Oh my god, don't tell me that I've just ruined it by a cycle, please. 10% HP, 10%. Okay, let's see. Would Silverwolf have killed? The answer is how much HP? I think this takes it. No, 1%. Okay. Okay, I don't think it mattered because I think we would have been left on 1% HP anyway. So actually, I think this is a, what is this, a 5 cycle? Let's see, how many cycles did it take us? Yeah, a 5. Yeah, I think this is probably a 5 cycle no matter what. But gosh, that took us a long time. Also, Silverwolf took a long time in the last MOC, but now I don't know if it's whether just because I suck at playing Silverwolf or because Silverwolf's just been struggling a bit, especially at E0S0. Or if it's just, I don't know, I feel like this boss is a good one for Silverwolf, but maybe I'm mistaken, and that's not just because of the elation mechanics. But, okay, anyway, time to move on to the third node, hoping for a better run there. Alright then, and here we are on the third and final stage. Now, those of you with a keen eye will see that I already cleared the stage. The thing is, I did get a clear, although I wasn't very happy with it, so I changed my blade from more of an offensive build, running Bandless Courier with some better crit substats, to a build with slightly worse crit substats, and also running the Tutorial Light Cone. So our damage numbers won't be quite as high, but we will get our ultimates more. First of all, just because these enemies actually they're not the best for us right now, because they don't really hit us that much, so it's a bit harder to have very good uptime on our blade ultimate. And then also in the when we get to the boss stage, the stings he summons will probably kill. Even if we have more offensive stats, it will probably take us 3 ultimates to kill them, so we might as well go ahead and get the ultimates more often, and that should lead to a slightly better clear for us, at least I am hoping, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that was a 5 cycle clear. I'm hoping for at least 4 cycles here. Anyway, go ahead and pop the Tribbie ultimate just so that we have all of our buffs up for our Ashveil ult. Now he is on Silence Remains, so we are missing 22% crit rate because we do have more than 2 enemies on the field right now currently, although we still hit for some very solid damage, and our blade is about to get a follow-up attack off as well. Very nice, 500k, I will take it. And then some nice from the Ashveil follow-ups. Now one thing I will say is that I really don't know what to do with this team, because I have 3 options actually. First of all, I could go ahead and pull Gilgamesh, grab his E1, and then run this as an E1 Gilgamesh team. I could pick up Robin Samaretto, or I could pick up Aventurine. I am leaning towards Aventurine, however, I do really like Gilgamesh, and I feel like an E1 Gilgamesh is probably a bit better on the account than something like, say, a, you know, something than an E1 Archer. I feel like E1 Archer isn't always very useful, but then sometimes there are, if you take like more than 1 cycle, then sometimes you will end up having 4 arrows, and then, you know, getting a 5th one would be nice. It's like, oh, I just don't know. Do I just grab the E1 Archer, and then also I need to save the pulls for Pearl as well, because we definitely need to pull Pearl. So I think the safer bet would be just grab E1 Archer, because I have no use for the E0 Gilgamesh on my account. So grab the E1 Archer, grab the... Although the thing is, if I pull for Gilgamesh as well, I could get Archer's Light Cone, which would be a bigger damage increase than his thing. Well, that is if we lose the 50-50. So it's like, if we win the 50-50, then we have a lot of pulls to spare for Aventurine as well as Pearl. If we lose the 50-50, then the problem is that, well, then we don't have as many pulls, and then it will be a bit harder to get Pearl. But then again, we do have a lot of emergency pulls as well, and also then I can actually get Archer's Light Cone and then put that on him and take Ashveil off of Silence Remains and put him on Cruising in the Stellar Sea. Although, at the same time, Silence Remains is actually pretty damn good in single target as well. So, like, genuinely, I don't know what to do. Or do I just save everything for Aventurine and Pearl and then have a few extra pulls for, like, the end of the version? I don't know. Anyway, luckily, that does give us our Ashveil ultimate, so we are able to clear her in 1 cycle. But just about, I will be honest. So, you know, it's not ideal. Normally, I like clearing a bit quicker than that. You know, Archer was the only one who managed a 0 cycle in the first stage. And normally, this team does as well. So, you know, that is a bit unfortunate there, but it is what it is. Although, I mean, I know... Okay, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pick Blade here just because he will be better in the AoE stuff here. So let's go ahead and take our turn on him. I feel like I maybe could have done something slightly better there, but oh well, it's fine. Maybe I could have... actually, no, you know, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Anyway, 500k on our skill, and then the follow-up skill should do a bit more, 624, yep. And then we'll have to wait and see how much our ultimate does. But yeah, obviously, like I said, the reason why I'm picking Blade is because he is more capable in AoE. Gonna skill here on Hyacine, we want the extra energy just to make sure we have her ultimate up. I'm not gonna use Tribbie ultimate yet. I know we're wasting a bit of energy, but okay, there we go. We get our Blade ult, and this will hit for, let's see, yep, 1.8 mil. So yeah, I'll take it. And then I want to action forward Blade here. This will give us one more action before the end of his ult, which will probably allow us to get off one more offensive ult before we have to make sure that we keep the ult uptime running. Okay, let's see how much is our Ashveil ult gonna do. Like I said, on silence remains right now, so we don't have 100% crit. I think we missed like approximately the first set of crits, but then after that we actually did manage to get, which is very, very nice. So yeah, our Blade, even though he's on more of a support build, he just hits for so much damage in AoE that I think having a lot of ult frequency is more important. Although, you know, could be wrong, but, you know, it seems logical enough to me. Anyway, we'll get another follow-up into an ultimate here. So, there we go, 600, and my prediction is 1.7 mil. Okay, there we go. What can I say? I'm the god. Okay, Tribbie Heng for 100k. You know, it's not the most damage, but it's certainly not negligible. Hyacine will also hit for an okay amount. I've been watching her damage, but, yeah, okay. Literally the only thing this memory turbulence is useful for us is just giving Ashveil a little bit more energy. That's honestly all it's good for. Okay, this might take out the stings. I'm hoping it does. Not quite. Okay, that is slightly unfortunate. But luckily this guy doesn't heal himself up. Otherwise that would be quite annoying. Maybe the skill will take them out. At least it should. Okay, not quite. We will get 2 Ika attacks here. So let's see. Okay, yeah, see, Ika is actually hitting for quite a lot here, which is very, very nice. Okay, let's just go ahead and pop the Tribbie ult just to action forward ourselves a little bit here. And then we also get our Ashveil ult off as well. And now let's see how much it's going to hit for in single target. So this guy is 72% health and we're hitting for... Let's see. Okay, that's nearly a mil, so we did about 4% of his HP there. I was hoping for a bit more, although then again we do have the follow-ups as well, which will definitely contribute quite a bit of damage here. Not gonna use our Blade ultimate right now, just gonna wait a little bit. Actually, okay, yeah, I'm gonna use it straight away. I was thinking of waiting for our Blade stun so that we have more Blade turns during the ultimate. However, I want him to generate all of his follow-ups and consequently energy from our teammates attacking. Otherwise we would have missed out on quite a bit. I'm not going to use the Hyacine ult. I'm going to wait to ult on her turn so that we have slightly better ult uptime, so I can basic attack more instead of skilling more, because obviously if we basic attack, then that's just one more follow-up count for our Blade. And of course we want to make sure that we have very good uptime on his ult and his follow-ups, just because like I said, it is doing a lot of our AoE coverage damage here. So there we go, let's go ahead and ult on Hyacine. That's going to be basically free. Okay, yeah, that... Bro, this team, there's just so many follow-up attacks. I love it so much. You know, I love running Hyacine on this team. I wish Aventurine would be a HP scaler, because just imagine the synergy between this team. It would be so insane. But even then, of course, just the follow-up frequency from Hyacine will be good as well. We do nearly have our follow-up once again. Do we go ahead? Yeah, you know what? I think I might as well. Do I want to send the ult? I mean, we are, like I said, we are going to generate a lot here from our turns, but maybe it's just better to play it safe. Actually, to be fair, you know what? We're not going to overcap, sorry, we're not going to get the 9 stacks, so there's no rush for us to use our ultimate. And now what we can do is, he's going to hit our Blade, then he's going to action forward him, like so, and... Actually, maybe I shouldn't have Tribbie ulted straight away. Actually, I probably should have waited for Blade's turn. It's fine, it won't be the end of the world. Maybe slightly wasted some AV there, but it should be fine. We'll probably clear it in the next cycle anyway if this guy is on 33% HP. Anyway, first of all, beautiful 1.7 mil. And then also we will get another follow-up into right away another ultimate, but unfortunately we don't really want to use this one right now just because, you know, we need to refresh our ult. Anyway, let's just quickly pop the Ashveil ult before we waste too much energy on him. About 500k there from the ult compared to we were doing about 900k when he was in single target. So, you know, definitely a difference to be spotted there. Go ahead and pop the Blade ultimate. Once again, like I said, don't want to be wasting out on the energy that we may generate, especially because we have our Ashveil follow-ups going off, and then the enemies will also probably hit us, and we get another Ashveil turn as well. I keep forgetting. Honestly, this memory turbulence, this might be the worst memory turbulence I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, it is so bad, especially considering the fact that there are... Okay, for our upcoming units, there is no, you know, neither Robin nor Aventurine are Hunt or Erudition. Gilgamesh isn't, Saber isn't, it's literally only Himiko Nova and stuff like that. Like, Himiko Nova and Archer, that's it. So, you know, I will say it's certainly a very, very strange... I mean, okay, fine, Reen is an Erudition character, sure, I guess. My bad, bro. But, like, still, okay, anyway, our... Blade ultimate isn't running out until the next cycle, so we can go ahead and just spam it with no remorse. We want to go ahead and get this 4 cycle here. If we go into the next cycle, then there is no difference between that and the clear that yeah, oh, okay, my laptop is dying right now. I am still, unfortunately, not in my setup. I think give it a few more weeks and I'll finally be back and not lagging in Memory of Chaos. But okay, Ashveil ult, please. Let's go for 600k. Okay, so that's 133 and okay, 600k. Nice, nice. That will definitely be important. We will be getting a Blade ultimate here. Although if they, okay, yeah, we were gonna go on either way because Hyacine would have generated us enough, and we also have our follow-up attacks from our Ashveil as well. Okay. 3% HP, okay, Blade ult should kill her, surely. Oh my god, 1%. Oh, okay, but we took out the stings. Oh my god, that was close. Okay, we barely got that 4th cycle. But, hey, there we go. We made an improvement, as you can see. We went from 5 cycles to 4 cycles. That means we cleared the first stage in 1 cycle, then 5 cycles on the second, and 4 in the final one. So that's 10 cycles out of the 12 we have allocated total. You know, it's not the quickest, but you know what? I'll take it. With that being said, let's move on to some character builds and outro. Alright, well then, we cleared in 10 cycles, which is fine. You know, Rin and Archer definitely gave us the best performance in 1 cycle, same as the previous Memory of Chaos. I was hoping for at least, for like at most a 3 cycle from our Ashblade team, but I guess that boss is just way too annoying, unfortunately. You know, 4 cycles is definitely a downgrade from the 1 cycle in the previous Memory of Chaos. Then for the Silverwolf team, we cleared in 5 cycles, same as the previous Memory of Chaos. I will say the fact that we have had 2 Elation chill bosses, but that Silverwolf hasn't gotten below 9 cycles is, sorry, below 5 cycles is a bit unfortunate. But then again, you know, this memory turbulence does suck for Silverwolf, but at the same time, the fact that we've had 2 Elation bosses, which, okay, you might say that, you know, neither of them are made for Silverwolf, but then again, you know, this one definitely isn't made for Evanescia with the physical res. So if you're trying to tell me that Sparxie has more shill bosses than Silverwolf, then like, what was the point of pulling Silverwolf in the first place? I don't know. I'm hoping for Pearl to be a big upscale, because Silverwolf definitely isn't a bad character. It's just that the problem is, especially at E0S0, her numbers are just so backloaded that honestly they don't feel very worth it. You know, Evanescia definitely does feel, I think, a lot more complete at E0S0. But anyway, this isn't time for slander. I guess my thoughts will be reflected in the tier list, which will be coming out soon, TM. Anyway, starting off with our character builds, you know, I won't go in too much detail just because we have quite a lot to get through. I will say I do think that Archer is one of the best built units on my entire account, which, you know, considering his performance, you know, I'd say it probably shows. You know, this piece isn't the best, but other than that, they are all pretty damn good. I mean, I guess this one could be a bit better, but it is what it is. E0, like I said, might pick up that E1, not sure. Real quick, when it comes to speed tuning, Sparkle 160 and then Reen is on 140, but when you include her 20% speed rate, she's like 0.2 speed points quicker than our Sparkle, so yeah. Sparkle definitely doesn't have the best build in the world, but you know, it gets the job done. We have the speed tuning that we want. We do also have Onushaka just to giga buff our Archer's attack, you know, just because he needs to be stronger. Unfortunately, no 100% crit rate on our Reen, even though I'm trying to get as much speed and crit rate as I can on our pieces. The problem is just that she doesn't have any crit rate ascension, so it's a bit difficult to get her to 100%, but you know, it is what it is, I suppose. E0, and then our Aventurine does have his 4k defense like he wants. Day 1 of my new life. Relics, oh wait, we don't have him on the new Shielder set. Okay, whoops. I have taken away a bit of our offensive prowess on the team for a bit more defensive, which, first of all, I didn't mean to, and second of all, probably didn't need, because, you know, Sam barely hit us. We did clear in one cycle. Anyway, Silverwolf 167 speed, 91 crit rate, 126 crit damage. You know, on the Fribbles, like, relic comparison, she's like 120% performance, so, you know, theoretically she is above average for theoretical performances, but, you know, it definitely doesn't feel like that. I will say I did take away one piece from her. It was this piece, but again, I don't think that, like, 2 less crit substats would do that, and it also gives us more speed. So, yeah, not quite sure how to make our Silver perform better, other than praying that Pearl will be the savior. Because, you know, I could forgive one 5-cycle performance, but then again, if you're meant to be the flagship team of the version, I would be hoping for, you know, a bit quicker, especially 2 in a row and both Elation bosses. Anyway, Yaoguang, these are our stats. Also, 160 speed on Yaoguang, I think, and then plus our Silverwolf speed as well as our Sparxie speeds gives our Aha a speed of 134 for 2 actions in the first cycle. So, you know, Aha speed tuning is fine as well. Lushaka, once again, just for our Sparxie, so that she can hit her attack goal, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but to get closer to it, even though we don't quite hit it, unfortunately. But yeah, these are our Sparxie pieces as well, and then she is on easy mode just because I need that extra attack on her desperately, and also I'm gonna get her to 100% crit rate as well. And then our Dunhung PT, who will also be on Lushaka. Yeah, highest basic attack light con that we own, shield or set just to buff all of our team's crit damage. And yeah, and then finally, oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Finally, our Ashblade team. You know, Ashveil, like I said, on Silence Remains, which when we do have the passive up, then we do get to 100% crit rate, which is very, very nice for us. And then, yeah, follow-up set, as you would expect, new follow-up planar set as well. Definitely could get some better pieces on it, would be nice. E0 for our Blade. Like I said, I did put him on a more, just more of an ult spamming build instead of focusing more on his personal DPS, even though his DPS was still very, very high in this team. He definitely outdamaged Ashveil. You know, Ashveil was probably doing more single target damage when we finally took out all these things, but yeah, Blade definitely was the carry of that run. Like I said, I was hoping for it to be a bit quicker, but oh well. Anyway, this is the Tribbie build that we have. Maybe I should swap her build around, but I feel like, you know, her damage definitely isn't negligible on this team, so I feel like the more damage build is fine, and then just relying on our teammates' actions to give us good ultimate uptime. And then finally our Hyacine, 5k attack, over 200 speed, nearly 100% crit damage. Would have been very nice if we could hit that as well. S5 of the Herta Starlight con traces, basically maxed out on the Warrior Goddess set, buffing our entire team's prowess in terms of our offense. Giant Tree set and E0. So yeah, that is it for my character builds. Let me know how you found this Memory of Chaos. Do you have any improvements you would recommend? With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.